and that girl can kiss. It's just happening, right? Now, once I started to make out, we made out like teenagers.
Welcome back to Muse on the Mic. I'm Riley.
And I'm Emily. Thanks everyone for joining us on another awesome episode of Muse on the Mic. I'm excited for this topic. This one's been asked for, actually. Usually it's us coming up with our cocky ideas, and this time people were asking for this one. I'm going to premise everyone with a little introduction before Riley introduces our topic for us today, because it's really relevant this time. We are the owners of an erotic massage parlor in Toronto, Canada called Muse. It is licensed and legal, and it's been open for 16 years. It is our baby.
Mhm.
And we had some very unique requests from clients and clients interested, potential clients, and even some global inquiries for this one. So, Rye, what are we doing today? What are we teaching the people?
Well, we're jumping back into right into our world, and these are our favorite
Yes.
episodes that we can talk about Muse. But like you said, inquiring minds want to know what is proper etiquette when they're coming into Muse or any massage parlor, really. And we've got some tips for you guys today, and they really started like from the beginning of inquiring all the way to like wrapping up the session. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this one.
I completely agree, and I get why people ask this. In
Mhm.
fact, a little spanking to us because we should have more of this kind of information on our FAQs on our website. Our FAQs are more like, where are you located? What are your hours? And instead of like, how do I behave when?
Yeah.
What's the do I ask? Do I just do? Like I think etiquette's important. And new customers especially are so gentlemanly and so curious. They've got all these questions. So I'm excited to teach the people.
Mhm.
There are definitely some things you can do to get in the good books, that's for sure. So I'll start us off. My first little point here is about booking policies. So you have two options. You can walk in, meet the people, wing it as you go. We'll get to that in a minute. Or you can pre-book an appointment. And I think our suggestion is usually if you want someone in particular at a very particular time, or specific length of time, it's important to book ahead of time because the worst thing is if you want to have a 3 hour extravaganza with someone and you walk in and she's fully booked for the day, now you've wasted your drive. Maybe you see another muse and that could turn out to be very special, but in essence, book
Mhm.
your appointment. However, we are a very, very anonymous and privacy conscious industry, our business in particular. And so it's not the kind of situation like you would book a doctor's appointment. There isn't a secretary that calls you 2 days before to remind you about your booking. There isn't a 48-hour cancellation policy that if you don't cancel within this time frame, we fully charge your credit card. There's no credit card reservations. Like that kind of stuff is very fluid and flexible and discreet.
Mhm.
So, as a business, we need a policy, and our policy is pretty simple. If you're booking well in advance, either front desk will tell you, or I'll tell you in a little email. Make sure you call the spa directly the day before your appointment to confirm your reservation. We don't hold your reservation without appointment confirmation.
Right.
If you book the day before and you're like, can I see so and so tomorrow? The instructions are call us an hour before your appointment to confirm your reservation. And I
Mhm.
believe with the first option, excuse me, with people that call the day before, the receptionist or manager may tell you as well, please call us 1 hour before as well. She's got a
Mhm.
busy day. We want to make sure she's running on time, or it's supposed to snow tomorrow. So make sure Bobby call us an hour before so we know you're going to be on time or whatever it is. And if those calls don't happen, your appointment's not held. If you show up and get mad about it afterwards, look in the mirror and yell at yourself.
You've been warned.
Boom, boom,
So
boom,
true.
right?
And to kind of piggyback off bookings, because my tip for you guys as well is to do with bookings. But if you've booked an appointment, and listen, I get it. You walk into Muse, you're seeing all the hotties around you. They're going up and down the halls. A lot of clients will have a change of heart and be like, "Ooh, could I see her instead?" And that goes against like proper etiquette. If you have
Yeah.
reserved Kelly for half an hour at 1 p.m., Kelly's time has been reserved. And in this industry, her money is time. So if you've blocked that off, it is up to you to fulfill your appointment. And listen, it's kind of
Yes.
this gray area because at the end of the day, we want our customers happy. And, the customer is king in the situation. but I think it's a good rule to practice to honor the appointment that you've booked because you are free to be a walk-in. If you want to just come in and meet all the girls
Yes.
and choose, do that. And I'd encourage you to do that. But if you've reserved someone's time, I think it's really important to honor that and not kind of divert from your original booking.
I absolutely agree. I think on that piggybacks walk in. And what does
Mhm.
walk in mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not a walk in clinic, but in that regard, it kind of is, right? Like, you can
Mhm.
just walk in and meet the ladies and choose. And I mean, every spa is different based on their floor plan and their layout. But for us, we either put you in the lobby or put you in our first room, room one.
Mhm.
And the girls will come individually and say hello to you. And as a customer, your etiquette or your expectation, what we expect of you is, if she offers a hand to shake, shake her hand. If she's a hugger, hug her. If she's a smoocher, smooch. But, roll with good body language, good behavior. Don't be too grabby or too aggressive. It's just a meet and greet. You want to get a little bit of a vibe and a feel for her. She's going
Mhm.
to look you up and down, scope you out a little bit, and hopefully a big smile and some like sparks fly. And then out she goes, and in comes the next girl. And then the manager will come in as kind of a neutral party and say, okay, Frank, you've met all the ladies that are available. Like, who would you like to see? And
Mhm.
at that point, be vocal, say what you want. You got to use your big boy pants and your indoor voices at that moment and say, you know what? Julie looks fantastic to me. I'll go with her and then
Mhm.
roll with that. But you can also say no. And as much as you can walk in, you can walk out. As a walk in, you can meet the ladies, change your mind, and totally be like, I'll come back another day. The girl I was hoping for wasn't in today, or something like
Mhm.
that. That is absolutely fine and good etiquette. Just be honest, just be polite, and have fun when you're meeting the ladies.
I agree. It's so fun. I would want to be the walk-in to see like all the eye candy. And again, like you said, who do you vibe with? Because
Yeah.
we've talked about this in past episodes, but oftentimes guys will pick outside of what their general preference is just based on the girl's greeting. So I think that
Yeah,
really that initial vibe, that eye contact, that kind of bit of passion that could spark is really like the best vibe to go off when you're picking someone. But I
absolutely.
will
I think it's
I
good.
will go into my second point, which is booking enough time for yourself. So all of our sessions
Ooh,
and prices are based on length of time. That affects the house fee as well as the girls' fee. So when you're
yes.
coming in new, and I know some of our new gentlemen that come in have a long list of fantasies, and they may not be like actual like specific fantasies, but they could be like, I want to have a shower with her. I want mutual pleasure. I want to try the milking table. I also want to
Right.
try some prostate massage. We can do all of those things, but I think it's really important to communicate what your expectations are because to allow the muse to properly do her job, she needs a certain amount of time. And if you
For
have
sure.
a lot of those things on your list, she may recommend, you know what, let's do a 45-minute session or even an hour. Oftentimes, that 30-minute standard session doesn't really allow for her to execute all of those things on your list properly.
Listen, I don't know too many escorts that do half-hour sessions
Mhm.
because, listen, that's a lot of bases to cover in
Yeah,
30 minutes, right? Plus
it
a
can stress.
shower, plus, the ending. Like, that's rushed. And we hate hearing from clients, it felt rushed. That is like
Mhm.
a surefire negative piece of feedback that we try to avoid. And there is the odd time where the answer, I would never say it this way, but the answer is, well, Bob, you should have booked more time because
Mhm.
who can do all of those things in 45 minutes? If I was
Right.
on speed, I couldn't do all those things in 45 minutes. Like, you're talking about 2 hours worth of activities that you want in a recess. Like, that just
Mhm.
doesn't happen on your lunch break. Like, you literally need to book the time. So I think that's a really good tip, Riley, because it can be overlooked. And I think the excitement of the wish list will make you totally
Mhm.
block out like the logistics, right? And it's kind of
Yeah.
on us, our managers, whatever, to remind people that's a lot. Maybe we should book you an hour instead
Yeah.
because blah, blah, blah.
Well, and especially
Super
if
good point.
the whole thing is this is an experience, and if you're really going to come
Yes,
in and take that muse's experience, you need to be able to give her time, like I said, to really kind of dive into you and fulfill all of your needs and giving you proper time to enjoy them instead of like, okay, we did
right.
the shower, get on the milking table, turn over, it's your prostate. Like that is just
Yeah.
that's not fun, guys.
That's so fun. That sounds like a checklist, and then it sounds like
Yeah,
chores, and nobody likes that. But
that's
it's why I would
mechanical.
never book a 4 day vacation. Give me the
Right.
7 to 10 days. Because if you want to do 2 excursions and you want to book all of the a la cartes and you still want to do the beach volleyball tournament and make it for the other, like that's a lot in 7 days, folks. Like
Yeah.
we need time to do all
Yeah.
the things. So give
Totally agree.
yourself that time and organize your plans, your frequency, and your budget around that. I think that's such a good tip all
Hmm.
around. Um, so on that note of the mileage list and the requests list, there is a guaranteed way to make sure none of that happens and a guaranteed way to make sure a lot of it can happen. And that comes down to hygiene. I want to put that in like capital letters, flashing neon lights that are like with the old like sound from the neon sign just being like hygiene is vital here.
So
Reservations
true.
available, but on these conditions. Because listen, it's logical sense to be like, of course, be clean. Who would ever
Hmm.
go see a sex worker and be listen? I worked in a place with no showers for 6 years in the middle of the ghetto, and hygiene was a massive, massive issue from
Hmm.
regular, ordinary people. And when I switched, my boss opened another location in Etobicoke, and so in kind of a fancy area across the city. The same clients would come in and have a damn shower, and they were perfectly normal. So it's about you're capable of being clean. But facilities make a difference. That's why we built big, beautiful showers because not only do we want people to clean, not only is it a bylaw of a body rub license, which we hold, but let's make it fun. Let's make it enjoyable. Let's
Yeah.
make it so people can't wait to get in the shower. That's only going to benefit everybody, including your muse, because some of my PTSD in the industry is directly connected to hygiene. I would rather work in a daycare than go through some of those moments again, and I'll
Right.
I'll leave that at that. I'm sure you can visualize it. But like I said, it is a bylaw in a body rub licensed facility like ours that the client must shower before anyone gets their mitts on you. But if you're here for the mileage and you're here for the fun, or you're like, I really want her to rim me, well, listen, your ass needs to squeak. It needs to twinkle like a Mr. Clean commercial by the time you're out of that shower. Because who the hell is going there otherwise, right?
You
So
kill me.
the more minty fresh, the more squeaky clean you are, no heavy colognes, just like we tell them, no glitter and no heavy flowery perfumes.
Hmm.
Y'all don't need to go home with each other attached on your clothing or on your skin. Nobody needs to smell like that. But like have those little considerations because the cleaner you are, the more mileage you will get, the more she will explore every inch of your body instead of
Hmm.
avoiding this area and this area. Let
On
me tell you,
repeat.
this area is where you need her to be.
Yeah. So true.
It's true, but like, don't shoot
I feel
yourself
like
in the foot, right?
we mentioned hygiene in so many of our episodes, but it needs to be highlighted in this one because it's very true points.
It's a thing. I wish it wasn't a thing and I'd never have to say it again. Just be like, humans are just spick and
Listen,
span, but like
in
humans are
our
messy.
industry, hygiene is a thing. It's even a conversation, guys. Be honest with you, that we have with the girls in training. So it is a
Yes.
part of this is Naked Services. It's up close and personal. It's all in each other's stuff. Hygiene matters on both ends. And that goes into my next point because I'm going to talk about discretion and respecting her privacy.
Ooh, hot topic.
Just as we definitely talk to the girls about this in the, opposite side of things to respect your privacy. I think it's important for clients to know because if she's doing her job well and executing well, you are going to feel very connected to her and like want to get to
Yes.
know her. But let that develop over time naturally or organically. Don't ask her personal questions. Don't ask to take photos or be sneaky and try to take photos. Nowadays, these things actually happen.
Yeah.
So respect her privacy and, go slow with conversation. You will likely get to know her over time, but it's baby
Yes.
steps.
I would tie into that the dawn of the algorithm because
Oh, yeah.
nothing pisses me off more with as open as we are is
Mhm.
when I get someone so brazen to try to add me to my private personal Instagram account or
Right.
I found you on Facebook, Emily, why didn't you accept my friend request?
Mhm.
And again, should be
That-
obvious. Sounds obvious as hell as the words are coming out of my mouth right now. And I'm sure half the people listening are kind of going, duh. Y'all would be surprised. Y'all be surprised. And it's to the point where I continuously have to block people for it because if I reject the request and they dare send it again, just thinking, oh, Emily must not have seen this. Emily fucking saw it. And Emily was like, danger, and went delete. And my next move is
Right.
block because are you
Yeah.
crazy?
You want to go deeper? You want to go all the way? Let's go deep throat. Welcome, everybody, to another filthy episode of Deep Throat. I can't wait for this one. I'm about to lay on you some of the most unique and filthy sex tips you've ever heard. We're not talking about the common ones that are all over social media. We're talking about going deeper. So strap in, pants down, and let's go. So to start off my list of sex tips you never knew, I'm going to start you off with a video. Always coming with some reaction content when I can. This video is on Facebook, and it is actually one of my favorite sex educators, and the page is called SCI Body Therapy, and this is about to explain everything you need to know about the structure of the clit, how the hell it makes any sense, and where to touch inside to maximize external clitoris pleasure. Let's start off with his tip, and then we'll do mine.
I'm about to teach you how to give somebody temporary amnesia. Like they may forget where they are, they may forget their name, but oddly enough, they may not ever forget you. We are going to be talking about the anatomy of something called the front wall. And here you need to know a couple different parts. This right here is the clitoris. This is isolated from the vulva. If you are looking at this, it is going to be this blue bulb right here, and this part right here, which is called the crus, and then the little nubbin, the actual clitoral glands, is that yellow dot. And I'm about to put this down, but I want you to remember this sort of arrangement and how this is, and especially where that opening is. Now, we're going to use clinical terms for this because this is an educational lesson after all. We are going to palpate, which just means locate with a finger or two, depending on your anatomical model. What we are looking for once we are gently inside of our model is something called the anterior wall. If you are logistically challenged, it's actually going to be the ceiling because everything's kind of sitting like this. And what you're going to do is just gently press up, and you will not feel this directly, but I guarantee that there will be feedback that lets you know you found the right spot. Now, while you are palpating from the inside, pushing up on that anterior wall, you're going to confirm with your thumb or other part of your anatomy that you have actually located this structure and that you know what you're doing. And while you are applying pressure from the back, you will apply pressure to the glands of the clitoris and form sort of an anatomical sandwich. Now, why would you want to get yourself to the kitchen and make yourself this sandwich? Well, guess what? This structure has about 10,000 nerve endings, and that estimate actually goes up every few years because we just get better at counting teeny tiny nerve endings. But this is also the only sort of structure in a human body that's sole purpose is sending pleasurable sensation. And so when we're talking about being able to locate, palpate, and properly interact with this structure, it can be a pretty good step on giving somebody temporary amnesia. If you want a more direct and detailed version of this technique, you're going to have to go to the secret classroom, which you find by going there, and then you're going to go there. It is free to sign up, and the video that is posted there is free to everyone. Like, you don't have to become a patron. If you do, then you will simply be supporting this type of education.
So, do I ever need those pieces for the visuals? Because doesn't that make sense? Even though it's the internal medical vision, I immediately pictured all of my favorite pussies, and not aside from my own, totally know exactly where all those points were that he's talking about. You could feel it. You could, the double pinch. Listen, that's also a gem for some prostate play. Ladies, take notes. Boys, take notes. Or even for yourself. Internal, external. There's your prostate. You like that? You want more? Subscribe to the Patreon and I'll take you deep throat.
Like we still have lives, and people listen, even with the podcast, they feel like they know us, and they do. They've gotten to know so much about us. Our pod listeners know all about our sexual tastes. Like, y'all know some of the inside scoop. And yet, as much as we are Googleable and have been doxed and outed and all those things, our privacy is even more special to us when you're
Mhm.
out in the open, because the few things that we really have built walls and bricks around are because they're the only thing that we kind of have
Right.
left that is exclusively private or just our personal lives. And it feels very invasive when someone does that.
Mhm.
And yet half of me wants to send this lecture directly to Meta, because it ain't Bob's
Right.
fault. They know our face. It pops up
Right.
in the suggested friends. They're
Mhm.
like, you know, so and so, or in your contacts, which is wild
Right.
on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Now with Instagram, with that stupid map in the stories that shows where you're
Mm.
posting your stories. Like, there's so many efforts we have to put into privacy. So if you see we have private accounts under our real names, they're so there on purpose. I wish I could like have like a big warning label over top. Do not add. Do not pass go. Do not do this. Add the
Mhm.
Emily count, add the Riley count. We're already on every platform in that regard anyway. So it's
Right.
not lack of access. There's no need other than invading our privacy to take that step. Sounds obvious. It's not. It happens all the frickin' time.
Fair true. Oh, it's true.
Yikes. Yikes. But it can be just as dicey. Like, imagine someone asking you those kind of, I can't even say imagine, it happened to me many times. You're naked in a session with a guy, and he's like, oh, I saw your Facebook the other day, and when I browsed your blah, blah, and there's 4 posts that are private. I could see all your profile pictures and your banner. And like, I saw your mom and your kids. Like, that's just fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, it's boundaries.
Weird.
And I think they have to know it works both ways.
Yeah, if you see it, delete it, pretend you didn't see it, you never know. I have
Yeah.
gotten messages actually since the pod that's like a warning. Like, guys, I was on my Instagram, and just so you know, Instagram recommended your personal accounts and I blocked them just to tell you. And I'm like, I love you.
That's true.
Love that guy because he's proactively protecting us. And that to me is top tier,
You
as
know what?
opposed to the guy who's like, give it a whirl.
You know what? It was one of our clients or pod listeners. I can't remember which that I had. I barely ever use TikTok, but I do have an account. And at one time it was
Mhm.
open, I guess, which all my other profiles are closed personal accounts. And he
Yeah,
messaged saying, you came up as a suggested friend. Your profile's open. Is this your real name? Please, I suggest you close it or
close
make
it
it
down.
private, I should
Yeah,
say. And I
yeah.
was like, oh my God, so sweet of him. Like, thank you so much. Because I would have never known. I barely use the account, but it's open. There's me and my children. So I was really appreciative that he sent that message.
I love that. I love when a guy is literally looking out. That's
Mhm.
such a gentlemanly thing and so applicable to our world. In normal worlds that
Mhm.
probably wouldn't matter, but to us we're like, "Oh my God,
It
you're
matters.
immediately trustworthy to me at that point."
Yeah.
I'm like, I could run into you in public and trust that you won't talk to me, or I could
Mhm.
run into you in public and have an emergency and you would help me. Like, I
Yeah.
trust a man like that in such a different level because of that little, I mean, we're talking clicks. It's the
Mhm.
smallest proactive step. But yeah, if you haven't logged into TikTok since the panorama, you probably don't
Mhm.
remember that your account's open or whatever.
Yeah.
And good on him. Good on him for saying that. I fucking love that. That's a stand-up dude right there.
Yeah.
Takes small things to make us happy, but my goodness, is it easy,
Mhm.
eh? Okay, so this one I think ties into privacy worry because this can make a client panic. And we're going to tell you all the etiquette. So, as a licensed business, that means we get licensing inspections every so often. I would say in the course of a year, aside from like our renewal, where every couple of years they do a full inspection, we probably get less than a handful of
Mhm.
bylaw visits, way less than that of actual police visits. But when they are visiting, they are not here for Bob, Frank, and Jim. They are just not. It is you could be headless or have 3 heads. They don't care who you are, or what you're doing. They are there to inspect the spa. They are there to check the license on the wall to make sure it's not expired, and they're to check that every worker has a license that's equally valid and not expired. Um, and so, don't freak out is my first thing. Now, the normal situation would be You're probably in session when they come in anyway. Most of them don't bother with the closed rooms. They realize a customer's in there and they're not going to pay any mind to that. There have been eras, way more so in our earlier years and when I used to work, that every time they would come in and knock on all the doors, scares the shit out of everyone in terms of startled, because you're not expecting a single sound on that door. And it's literally, there's a girl being like, it scares the crap out of you. And it can throw a guy really dramatically at that point, because being startled and then hearing bylaw enforcement, please come out, can make it sound really scary, but he's not talking to you. So it's unfortunate. And you're gonna be like, fuck, like a now of all times. And I'll be like, Murphy, like it's always Murphy's Law that comes in when it's your birthday, trying to have just a minute to relax. But we aim to get it like checked and them out the door in 5 minutes or less. That is always our goal. I say anything more than 7 minutes, I'd be calling the spa going, is there a problem? Because checking licenses does not take very long, right? So she may have to leave the room if they knock, or like if they don't, nothing changes. Go through with your session, you'll be none the wiser. But if they should knock, she just has to run out, show her face. We have all the licenses at front desk, which is how the bylaw, the rules are set up to be. They check the license, match your face. Okay, off you go and back into your session. So it's 2 seconds. It doesn't take long. And I always joke with clients a little bit. Cops are there for scary stuff. They're there to find criminal problems. And if you know anything about Muse's reputation, we don't have anyone unlicensed. We don't have anyone underage. No one's intoxicated. There's no alcohol, no drugs, no nothing. So their visits are kind of boring for a cop because they're looking for drama. We ain't got none. But our neighbors are quite dramatic, right? So with them visiting us, it's usually because there's actually a rule that they can't just individually target one spot. They have to go to everyone in the area. So we, by default, might get that visit. They walk in, they check things, and they go, oh, it's calm here. And out they go. They love how quiet it is at Muse. They're almost alarmed by how quiet it is at Muse. It smells like a spa and everyone's sober. Like it's just a weird thing for them. But they're in and out because we don't have the stuff that keeps them busy as a job, right? Whereas by law, are dudes in like a K-way jacket and a laminated badge. Like, let's be real. We still have to adhere by our bylaws, and they're technically our governing, agency. But they're dudes in a K-way jacket that just work for the city, right? So they too are doing their job. They're not scary. So those are kind of the reasons why they'll be there, right? Bylaws looking for bylaw infractions. Cops are looking for crime things. We like to be angelic and holy and have no legal expenses. So we aim to please. But for you guys, what is your actual etiquette when this happens? I would say relax, chill, take a deep breath. Sounds like weird instructions, but it's that simple. You might want, if you feel more comfortable, you're welcome to sit up from the massage table, maybe grab a towel, wrap it around your waist if it makes you feel better, but it's totally not necessary. Don't come out the room. If they were to, listen, we've told this story on our podcast about when we were forced to switch from a holistic license to a bylaw license or a body rub license. That was an extreme bylaw visit. That was a very different scenario that involved their entire force. It was a whole licensing fiasco. And that was different. They definitely moved all the clients into the lobby and all the girls were lined up down the hallway. And that's why we tell that story so much, because it was extreme. It was shocking. And in my 25 years in the business, it's the only time I've ever seen it happen. But in general, they don't give a shit to talk to these guys. Like they really don't care what you're doing, what your name is, and what have you. But let's say by chance you're in the hallway or you walk in while they're at front desk doing a license check or something. Don't act weird. Don't act shady, because then they're going to be like, why is this guy acting all jittery? We prefer our clients sober too. So don't act like you're not. Like, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Like, literally just be normal. Like, hello, gentlemen, how are you? And then look at the manager and say, is Kelly in? And just roll with your day. And if she's like, give me a couple minutes, I'm just dealing with something right now, then nod and sit the fuck down. Or be like, I'll wait in my car. Or just be normal. And then I will add as the last little tidbit of like police type stuff or cop bylaw stuff. It actually happened yesterday. Sometimes cops like to pull and sit in front. They may be doing something else in our plaza or watching something with some of our troublesome little neighbors. But there are times where I tell managers, if it's been more than 10 minutes, go out and ask those gentlemen to move, because guys don't like seeing cops sitting in front of the car or the spa. They don't like them even in the parking lot. So like,
Mhm.
dude, really? Like, where you need to park? And most of them are nice because we're nice about it. And we'll be like, you're calling business, bro. Can you move the car 4 doors down? And
Right.
most of the time they're like, sorry, I didn't even realize. And they'll pull off and do, or they're like, we need 5 more minutes, and they'll do whatever. What makes me laugh is the guys that call. Like,
Oh yeah.
they're in the parking lot. They're like, I just pulled up for my appointment and there's cops in front. Like, is there a bust happening? Do I need to leave? Is the news? Like, they just freak out. And it's like, no, license check. They'll be gone in 3 minutes, right, guys? And they're like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
almost out the door. Like, it's literally that transactional and that professional. And we aim to always behave that way. And they don't deal with the madness that keeps them and their jobs busy. So stay calm, chill the fuck out, grab a towel if you need it. I
Mhm.
think that's simple. Let us deal with the mayhem and the madness. If there's ever an
I
asshole
mean,
cop, we'll
really,
deal with him different.
and my only thought to kind of put onto this topic would be, it really doesn't happen. Like, I can't make guarantees, but I want to say in the past 12 months, we maybe had one. Like, it's
Yeah,
really
at
that
best.
rare of an occurrence. And again, there's no predicting it. It can go in waves. We could have 5 next month and then maybe nothing for 5 years. I don't
Right.
know, but it's not something that happens on a regular basis.
It does make me giggle when I do hear from bylaw, though, because we're friendly with some of them. And especially because we close earlier than most of them. And I hear something like, oh, we're at your neighbors all the time. And I'm like, really?
Mhm.
They're like, well, it's at 3 a.m., so you wouldn't know. And I'm like, I literally
Right.
didn't know. And meanwhile, so and so is having an issue. They're getting hounded by law enforcement. And we're like how you just said, it's been like 13 months and there's crickets.
Mhm.
Like, we
Yeah.
just try to stay out of trouble. Riley and I are already on face forward. We don't need to be on the news too. Like,
Yeah.
let's just keep it calm and keep it chill. So my last point on my list is, what the heck do you actually do once you're in the room? I mean, we
Mm.
talked about hygiene, which means the shower. We talked about the bookings, the walk-ins, the law enforcement, all the crazy things in between. What the hell happens when I'm actually like in session? And I think this one is equally easy. All the pressure of all the moves and the tricks and the like what to look out for and the products, that's all on the girl. You're
Right.
there just to chill. So after your shower, again, wrap yourself with a towel if you're more comfortable. Be in your birthday suit if you're more comfortable. Once she walks in the door, or before she does, at some point, lay down and get in massage position. Let's at least attempt to have a nice massage in a massage parlor. If you've seen her a bunch of times and y'all aren't into the massage, ignore everything I'm saying. Y'all can start at third base. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do that's fun for you. Some of the girls like to get hot and heavy first and do the massage at the end. But in
Mhm.
general, plunk yourself in the vicinity of the massage table. Sit on it. Be near it. Lean on it. Stay where you're there. So when she walks in, she can give you a big old hug and then be like, Bob, lay down. Let's get started. And
Mhm.
at that point, especially if it's your first time seeing a girl, I think letting her lead is the best
Mhm.
move. That's not to say you can't voice your requests. That doesn't mean you can't take charge 15 minutes from now and all those things. But just in terms of style, introduction, timing, pace, and energy, go off her vibe. See what she does kind of first. And then if you have requests, be like, oh, I was hoping we could do blah, blah, blah. Or maybe after
Mhm.
this, we could do blah, blah, blah. Or next time I see you, I was hoping for this. Or get into normal conversation. Use your words, use your voice. Even if you're nervous, we've heard it all. I promise you.
Mhm.
It takes so much to
Fun.
shock us. And even if we're shocked in session, because trust me, plenty of clients shock me in session, my face was perfectly trained to not show shock. That is my job, to be like, ooh, instead of being like,
Mhm.
whoa. But there was whoa moments, trust me. Like, what? You want me to, what? But you keep it sexy, right? So
Mhm.
even for mileage type things, I think asking for consent or body language for consent is important. If she's a kisser, she'll probably get right in there and like initiate that look, looking at your lips and all the things. We're about to smooch. Everyone knows
Right.
what that moment feels like, right? And yet, if she's not a kisser, don't be the grabby guy. Listen, my first like 2 years, people teeth wrestled me with their tongue because I was not a kisser and they wanted to kiss her. And they would like grab my head and try. It's just it makes for an awful experience. There's no way that guy left and go, man, that girl can kiss. It's just happening, right? Now, once I started to make out, we made out like teenagers, but it was that the consent was always missing with those kind of things. Most of the time, body language shows what she's open to anyway. She's got her moves. She'll know how to offer her pussy if it's lunchtime and it's time for you to snack. Like we know where to move. So that's why I say go with her flow. Because if you can voice your request with your words and then allow your body to follow her body language, I think that's the most awesome way to go about it. Then you're never going to be in the wrong. You're always kind of going by her lead and asking first. And she's like, absolutely. And shoves a titty in your mouth. Happy as a pig in shit.
It's like that.
Yay.
My last one is, as much as we love you boys, don't overstay. And here it's a tricky one because listen, as the customer, you're not in charge of time. It is your muse's job to manage her time. But I will say she should be able to do that successfully within like your naked fun time. When I say overstay, I'm more so talking about like that after that post-nut shower, like that vibe. So when you're wrapping up and you kind of chit-chatting, getting to know each other, or like having that few moments of connection, to really don't take her generosity of those conversations too far and stick around over time. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, she's trying to make you a regular. She's trying to make your experience the best, or to fulfill your expectations. She wants you to come back, but at the same time, her money is time, and that's how she gets paid. So an extra 15 minutes lingering talking is time she could be making money elsewhere. Or on the flip side of that, that room could actually be booked for someone else. So to have just an awareness of time and not overstay is my last point here.
Well, I think with our times frames of our sessions, 15 minutes is a different session. When you're talking 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, that is 15 minutes between each difference, right?
Yeah.
And I also think, look, we have coffee at the front. If you want to continue your conversation because you're really enjoying her, A, you can extend your session. That's always an option. Or B, ask her, are you in a rush? Do you have some extra time? Can we continue chatting over a cup of coffee and go to the front, have a coffee together and have your chit chat? That is perfectly fine. Listen, sometimes conversations are super interesting and you don't want them to end either. And so like, Bob, can you hang for 10 minutes? That's perfectly fine. But if she's got another appointment, she can't hang even if she wanted to. She's got shit to do. So book longer next time. There's your lesson. And amazing that you connected with someone so good that you want to spend more time with them. That's ideal. You know what I mean? But my worst lingerer was one of my favorite clients, and I hated him at the end of every session because his post shower was like 22 minutes long. He would shave, he would wash, shampoo, repeat.
Wow.
This ain't the gym, bro, and this ain't home. Like, you're supposed to rinse, scrub the important bits, and go back to fucking work. Like, what are you talking about? And he wasn't like a construction guy or someone who was really needing to scrub. He just was like, well, I'm here. I might as well
You just
get
enjoyed
a
that
fog-proof
aspect.
mirror and would start shaving. We're like, bruh, really? Like,
wow. That's a tough one. And I think it's definitely the shower lingerers happen. We hear about that often at Muse. But I think there's a lot of just conversation that takes place. And that's a great sign. If you and her are really hitting it off, there's nothing negative about that. And again, I will put this point more towards the Muse. It is her job to manage the time, just as a general rule, not to kind of push the limits too far.
Absolutely. And we teach them a couple things to do too. If they need kind of a little bit of an assist getting this linger out the door or something, I think if she gets the point, other than dropping her laundry, if she gets the point where you're chit-chatting, she's looking at the clock every few minutes, and then she gets to the point where she cracks the door open and she's like, okay, Bob, Okay, Frank. Well, and then he's still talking. If that door's cracked, that's your cue. Etiquette just said it's time to wrap it up and go. Like,
Yeah.
time's ticking. And she's signaling to everyone else, like, we're done here. We're just not out
Mhm.
of the room yet for some reason. And
Yeah.
so at that point, manager might come knock on the door and go, sorry to interrupt you guys, but we need this room in a few minutes or something
Mhm.
like that. And then at least girl wasn't lying. Someone really needs the room. You've overstayed. Pay for longer next time. It's
There
quite
you go.
simple. But I think all in all, other than, being polite, asking for consent, I think those are the best of the
Mhm.
etiquette tips that we could give everyone. Other than that, be yourself. We love the
Mhm.
variety and the personality and your range of fantasies and ideas and requests. Never be shy to ask for something. I think in general, we lean away from no and we lean into how can we make this work.
Yeah.
So even if it sounds outlandish, send the request. We'll see what we can do.
I agree.
I love it. I hope this helped to the nervous Nellies. We'll see you at Muse very soon because we've now completely satisfied all of your excuses. It's time to make that first appointment or just come walk in and get a feel for it. Meet the managers, say hi to us if we're around.
Yeah.
And if you're not local, find an awesome place like Muse near you and go have fun. Go have fun, be a gent, and it'll take you further places.
Enjoy.
I love it. Well, thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed Massage Parlor Etiquette 101 and learned some shit. We'll see you next time. I'm Muse on the mic.
Bye, guys.
See ya.